Today we're reviewing the Metakoo M1, also known as the Xpirit 12.
So let's get straight to the unboxing.
So right off the bat we have the toolbox right on top of the bike. We'll set that aside for later. Other than that, you can just take the bike right out. It's the entire thing.
This is everything the bike came with in the box. So it's time to get everything set up. This is how the bike looks with everything taken off.
This is actually a tiny electric bike, and it's the smallest one I've seen in a while.
Now we'll assemble the bike, and we'll move on to the features after.
So there's a little latch thing on this handle, and I think you just fold it up. Ooh, and you pull it in. As easy as that.
Next we have loose handles which you can adjust for yourself. And after you have the right setting, you just screw this a little tighter and snap it in place, just like a quick release. Now we have the seat. So in that box we had the pedals, the charging stuff, the manual, and the wrench. Installing the pedals is super easy. Just make sure you know your left from your right. We'll now work on putting the left pedal on first. So we just have to put the threads into this hole and turn it towards the left, which is the way you are pedaling. Now once it gets too hard for your hand to tighten it, you just use the wrench that came with the bike and give it a nice little tug, and that's all. Now we'll do the same for the right pedal, and just make sure you screw it in the same direction that you're pedaling.
Alright, we've got the bike all set up. Last thing I do is adjust the seat to my height, which is about there. Lock it into place. Now your bike is ready to go.
After assembling the bike, it looks a little funny, but they did a great job cramming a bunch of features onto it. It's got a bell, a cute little kickstand, dual disc brakes,
A front headlight, a rear headlight,
seat suspension, front and rear mud guards.
and did I mention? I'm glad they included a rear suspension. And it actually works. Next, we're going to fill up the tires with a pump from a dollar store.
Make sure you do pump your tires because the bike comes with pretty deflated tires. Also make sure to give your rear tire a couple extra pumps because most of the weight does go to the rear tire. The bike comes with a 7.8 amp hour battery, and it's actually encased in this tube. You charge it through the rear port right here, and all the power is sent to this rear wheel equipped with a 350 watt hub motor. Alright, now that we have everything assembled, I'm going to turn on the bike for the first time. And I think you do it through this power button right here. Sticky. Alright, so there's some grease residue on the power button before, but I cleaned it off already. And so now the button's really nice. After you turn the bike on, it shows you the power level of the battery. So right now the bike came with about 50% charge. Now if you look on the left side of the handlebar, there is the mode button. What this basically does is you select your 3 different power modes. So low, medium, and high. According to the manual, on low mode it has a top speed of 9 miles per hour, medium 12 miles per hour, and high 15 miles per hour. What I really like is you can adjust the speed of the bike using just this handle right here. Now even with the power on, you can't just get the bike to start going like this. What you actually have to do is give it a little bit of a pedal first. Once you give the rear wheel a little bit of speed, you can actually reach over to the handle and you have full control of the bike. Another way you can power the bike is once you start pedaling, the motor will kick in and assist you. And as one of the last features on this bike, your rear light and front light can be turned on through the mode button right here. You just have to press and hold, and they both turn on. And another great feature is when you press the brake lever, the light flashes and lets people know you're coming to a stop. This also works with the lights off. Now that we've got most of the things covered, I'm going to take it out on a ride to test out the bike. Okay, that was a joke, but this is what it really sounds like. So after filming that clip, the ride seemed pretty smooth, but I am curious about how the small tires will hold up. So let's see what else we find out. So some things I discovered about this bike when I was riding is that the suspension looks great for its size, but the bike does sway when you're pedaling too hard. And you gotta take the corners real slow because of the wonky geometry. So another thing that I learned when I was riding this bike is if you're sitting too far back and you start pedaling too hard, you'll start lifting the front wheel off the ground. And if you do really pedal harder and have the electric assist, you'll pull a full wheelie. Without further ado, let's continue the test ride and see what else we find out. Having an electric assist is actually pretty nice because when you do get lazy, you can just use the bike to do all the hard work for you. Now, does the bike look a little out of place? That's up to you to decide. But I'm going to take the bike on some routes and see how it holds up. Although the bike does have rear suspension, you feel everything on the ground because of the tiny tires. It's also definitely harder to make a steep turn because you can't really lean into it like normal bikes. Don't get me wrong though, because it's still really fun to ride a bike where it's not supposed to be ridden. But yeah, as you're going through the trails, make sure you watch out for roots because these tiny tires cannot handle them. Ooh. But other than that, it's surviving pretty well. Even hitting some of these, give it a tiny wheelie. But overall, pretty great for cruising. Until you hit hills like this. Almost flipped over the handlebars there. Well, overall, that was like a quick 10-minute trail ride. It held up pretty well. The tires feel a little more deflated than when they started out. But other than that, just a bit of creaks here and there, and it was a fun ride. And if you want to practice balancing your weight, shifting back and forth, this is definitely the bike to do it. Because a little bit too far back and you wheelie, a little bit too far forward and you flip, and it's tiny. So if you do want to take this on the trail, do it, but make sure you wear a helmet. Well, this bike is great for cruising. It hasn't lost much power after going through the trails. And you can still get up to speed pretty well. It's super unstable because of the geometry, but it is foldable, so win-win. And yeah. So that was the quick review of this Metakoo M1. Feel free to comment or ask any questions, and let me know if you want to see more videos with this bike in the future or any other reviews. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.